Manifests explained several loose ends, although several of its mysteries remained unresolved by the finale. Throughout its first 3 seasons, Manifest explained that Flight 828 passengers worked hard at heeding the callings they received in each episode. Ever since Manifest debuted in 2018, the passengers have been determined to learn the truth behind the plane's disappearance, the purpose of the callings, and how they could survive the death date. Manifest was cancelled after Season 3 by original network NBC in 2021, leaving these questions unanswered, though thankfully, it was renewed by Netflix for a 4th season in 2022. The characters in Manifest realize Flight 828 wasn't an isolated incident. Since Manifest received a proper ending, even if it was only 4 seasons rather than the planned 6, many unresolved questions were finally answered. Season 4 on Netflix solved some of the biggest mysteries, and the finale of Manifest Season 4 explained a great deal of what had been happening while leaving a little open-ended speculation for viewers to speculate over after watching the finale. The show is already acclaimed, but with the mysteries of Manifest explained in full, its depth can truly be appreciated. Ben's resurrection theory explained. Ben believed the Flight 828 passengers had experienced divine intervention. Manifest explained what happened to the passengers, and the plane, when it disappeared, finally giving the fate of Flight 828 meaning. In the Season 3 premiere, Ben came up with the theory that everyone who had this experience died. After finding Flight 828's tail fin, Ben took the discovery to mean that the original plane crashed during the storm that night, and the plane that exploded in Season 1 was a resurrected version. Ben now thinks everyone on the plane died in the storm in 2013 and was brought back to life 5 years later, possibly by divine means. Adding credence to Ben's ideas is the fates of the 3 meth addicts. Jace, Corey, and Pete all seemingly drowned in the Season 2 finale but were shown waking up at the end of the Season 3 premiere. Divine intervention was confirmed in the final season, making Ben's theories correct. Manifest's divine connections explained. Sapphire reveals the presence of God in Manifest. Josh Dallas as Ben Stone talking to Parveen Kaur as Sonvi Bol by a computer in Manifest. Season 3 is built on the theory that the central Manifest mystery is related to a divine entity, whether God or something else. The idea is that God may have resurrected the passengers and given them the callings, so they can help people. The research at Eureka provided some degree of evidence of a supposed divine link to the Flight 828 passengers. As Manifest explained, this was demonstrated in Manifest when elements of sapphire were found on subjects who had disappeared and returned. Afterward, Dr. Gumpter noted that sapphire has long been thought to be the signature of the divine. If that's true, that would explain why sapphire was found on the tail fin, the Noah's Ark driftwood, Ben's glowing hand, and the 3 meth addicts throughout Manifest Season 3. It would mean that they were all touched by God. How the passengers can survive the death date. The death date in Manifest is a divine test. Pete, Corey, and Jace arguing in front of their RV in Manifest. The biggest threat facing the characters in Manifest is the dreaded death date, which hinges on the concept that a person who returns from a disappearance only gets to live for as long as they are gone. In other words, the passengers are all destined to perish on June 2, 2024, which is exactly 5.5 years after their return. Ben, Sonvi, Cal, and Michaela have a long time to wait before their death date comes, but other characters were gone for much shorter periods, such as Zeke and the meth addicts. It was based on them that the passengers were able to learn if it was possible to avert their fates. Zeke nearly dies on his death date in the Season 2 finale, but by following his calling and saving Cal, they were, fortunately, able to prevent his demise. Zeke now serves as living proof that getting past the death date in one piece is possible. The conflict with the meth addicts threw a wrench into this in the middle of Season 3. Just as they did with Zeke, the main characters tried to help them avoid their death date by following their callings, but a misinterpretation of a vision resulted in Jace trying to kill Michaela and Cal. An old story from ancient history called The Last Trial clues Olive into what the death date is, a test made by the callings. If a person fails to make the morally right choice, they perish when their death date comes. That's why Zeke was able to get past it in Season 2. It made sense that Corey and Pete could too. Instead, they died along with Jace. Corey and Pete dying for their mistakes is how Manifest explained to viewers the underlying rules of the death date. The remaining passengers of Flight 828 figured out that the only way for them to live beyond June 2, 2024, is for all of them to pass their test. If one character makes the wrong decision, it could doom the rest of them. It's a demanding task, but at least they finally know what has to be done. Meaning of the peacock sightings explained. The peacocks foreshadowed Manifest's Noah's Ark twist. The peacock on Manifest. At Eureka, Sonvi finds 6,000-year-old peacock DNA on a piece of ancient driftwood. After further study, she determines the driftwood once belonged to Noah's Ark from the Bible. According to her research, The Peacock DNA carries the same genetic marker as the passengers and everyone else who's disappeared, which would indicate that Noah's Ark and Flight 828 both experienced the same mysterious phenomenon. Though the Noah's Ark connection is one of the show's most shocking twists, it doesn't come without a proper setup.